Hey everyone, this is Nova, and welcome back to Rockers to Doctors. Today, Dorian and I are doing something a little different to celebrate the holiday season. We have both chosen our top 5 rock Christmas songs, and we're presenting them to you today with our reasoning, our justifications, and maybe a little bit of rock history along the way. So here's the twist. We did this completely independently. No comparing lists, no influencing each other, no arguing in advance, which means what you're about to hear is my list, and later in the episode, you're going to hear Dorian's list. So if you're more of a Dorian fan, feel free to jump ahead. I won't take it personally much. And once you've heard both of our lists, let us know which one you preferred or what songs we absolutely should have included. Also, if you were wondering what to get us for Christmas, we're both a size like and subscribe. Now, on with the show. Before I jump into my top 5, I want to give you a little context for how my Christmas music taste was shaped. There's a Christmas movie that's lived in my head for as long as I can remember. A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector. Now, today, we all know that Phil Spector is problematic to say the very least. But for the sake of this conversation, I want to separate the art from the artist because this album is historically important. This record used Spector's famous production method known as the Wall of Sound. It featured artists like the Ronettes, Darlene Love, the Crystals, Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans, and arrangements by Jack Nitzsche. So, what was the Wall of Sound? It was a technique built on layering, multiple musicians playing the same parts simultaneously to create a massive unified sound. Large orchestral ensembles with strings, woodwinds, percussion, and background vocals, echo chambers, careful microphone placement, everything designed to make the music feel huge. The end result was a sound that did not politely enter the room. It hit you like a wall. And now here's my Dorian style story moment. My mother had this record and she played it constantly during the holidays. At first, she would play it for me, and eventually, I was allowed to use the massive furniture sized record player on my own. I loved how loud this record was. I loved how it transformed old standards into something powerful and joyful. The sense of scale, that loudness, that emotional impact shaped my musical taste more than I probably even realized at the time. So, why am I telling you all of this? Because the Wall of Sound philosophy shows up all over my rock Christmas top 5 this year. I could easily fill this entire list with songs from that album, but I'm not going to. Still, if you've never listened to it from start to finish, I strongly recommend you check it out. Now, let's get into my list. I'm starting my list with a newer addition for me. Will it hang on until next year? I don't know, but I've really been enjoying it this year. So that's why I'm placing it at the top of the list. This song was originally written for the 2000 film How the Grinch Stole Christmas, with music by James Horner and lyrics by Mariah Carey and Will Jennings. At the time, it was sung by a very young Taylor Momsen, long before The Pretty Reckless, long before rock radio, long before eyeliner and leather pants even entered the picture. Now we have an adult Taylor Momsen revisiting the song with The Pretty Reckless and somehow connecting those two versions into one emotional through line. She seamlessly connects the early version with her new rock rendition. It's pure nostalgia and raucous happiness tied up with a holiday bow. If you haven't guessed already, my number 5 is Where Are You Christmas by Taylor Momsen and The Pretty Reckless. Remember when I talked about the Wall of Sound? Well, here it is. This song was originally recorded by Darlene Love in 1963 and produced by Phil Spector. It's one of the great Wall of Sound Christmas classics, written by Ellie Greenwich, Jeff Barry, and Phil Spector himself. It has been covered by everyone from Mariah Carey to Cher to Death Cab for Cutie. But my favorite rock version is U2's. U2 recorded the song in 1987 during a sound check in Glasgow while they were on the Joshua Tree tour. It was later released on the compilation A Very Special Christmas. Even though it's a live recording and not a traditional wall of sound studio production, it still captures that feeling, that fullness, that urgency, that emotional swell. It's loud, it's passionate, and it feels like Christmas through a rock lens. So that's why U2's Christmas Baby, Please Come Home is my number 4 song. My number 3 is another live recording, and it is pure holiday chaos. J. Fred Coots and Haven Gillespie wrote this song, and it's been recorded by just about everyone you can think of. Bing Crosby, the Andrews Sisters, the Crystals, Neil Diamond, the Temptations, Mariah Carey, even Justin Bieber. But my favorite rock version is Bruce Springsteen's. His version was recorded live on December 12, 1975 at C.W. Post College in Brookville, New York. And it first appeared on a Sesame Street compilation album in 1981 and later as the B-side to My Hometown. This version is messy, it's loud, it's joyful. It feels like being inside a room where everyone is laughing and yelling and barely holding it together. It's not about Santa, it's about energy. And that is why Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band's Santa Claus is Coming to Town earns this 3rd spot. We're at the runner-up, and this one hits me in the feels. The song was inspired by a real argument between Joey Ramone and his girlfriend around Christmas time. It was originally released as a B-side in 1987 with a video following a couple of years later. Musically, it's classic Ramones, that familiar 1-4-5 chord progression, short, direct, no nonsense. But emotionally, it's really something else. It's exhausted. It's honest. It's basically saying, can we just get through tonight without everything falling apart? That vulnerability paired with that unmistakable Ramone sound is what makes this song so powerful for me. I love it as much now as when I first stumbled across it years ago. My number 2 song is The Ramones, Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight. Our time is coming to an end, and soon you'll get to hear Dorian's top 5. But not before we talk about my number 1 pick. When I first heard this song on the radio, I had never heard anything like it. I was glued to the radio, hoping the DJ would say the name. Of course, they didn't. It took days before I finally learned what it was. This piece is a rock interpretation of God Rescue Merry Gentlemen and Carol of the Bells. It was first recorded in 1995, and the song tells the story of Vedran Smilovic, a cellist who played music in war-torn Sarajevo. It shifts between quiet strings and explosive guitars, orchestration, and synthesizers. Originally released on an album called Dead Winter Dead from Savatage, you may recognize it from its re-release by a different group, a side project created by some of Savatage's band members. That group? Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And the song? Christmas Eve, Sarajevo, 1224. From the first time I heard it, this song made an impression on me, and it has been my number 1 Christmas song ever since. That guitar solo still gets me every single time. It's cinematic, it's emotional, and it completely changed how I thought about what rock music could be. That's my top 5 rock songs for 2025. Thank you for hanging out with me. Make sure to let us know what you think of my choices, what your favorites are, and most importantly, whose list you like better, mine or Dorian's. And now it's time to hand things over to Dorian and hear his picks. Happy holidays, and remember, if you're wondering what to get us for Christmas, we both wear a size like and subscribe.
I can explain. See, my cousin asked me, "Do you have a funny Christmas sweater?" And I said, "Yes," because I thought I did. And I didn't go and check up on that until about 5 minutes before recording this. And I realized it's gone. So to compensate and so that Nova doesn't give me a black eye next time I see her, I'm wearing this thing. I put that there. Hopefully that's convincing that it's Christmas. Hi, I am Dorian, and this is Rockers to Doctors, and today you're gonna have my side of the top 5 Christmas rock songs. In October of 1987, when I was just in 6th grade, A&M Records released a compilation album called A Very Special Christmas. It was produced by the legendary Jimmy Iovine. The album raised millions of dollars for the Special Olympics. It also featured songs like Christmas Baby Please Come Home by U2 and Santa Baby by Madonna. I won't repeat that. I shouldn't have done that. We're not going to start this over. While these beloved seasonal tracks received recurrent holiday airplay, one of the songs off the album reached the Billboard charts, Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. Run DMC's song's popularity was unexpected. However, this was about the time that rap music was starting to spread into the suburbs, to the white people. Nevertheless, that album set the tone and expectation for all the future Christmas rock songs that I would hear. Whether you actually liked the songs or not, A Very Special Christmas became the template for decades now. At least for my generation, Gen X, that was our template for Christmas songs. Our challenge here today is to pick my top 5 Christmas rock songs. I find this difficult because most of the tracks suck. I'm old-fashioned about Christmas music. I like the boomer stuff, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and so on. But if I were in a situation where I had no choice but to listen to late 20th century and modern rock Christmas songs, and I could only pick 5 songs, the pressure is on. So here are my evaluative criteria. 1, the song has to convey some warm holiday cheer. Holiday rock fails often because the intent is cynical, like that quick seasonal content. But the execution pretends to be otherwise. A failed Christmas song knows that it is disposable. Number 2, musical identity. Would this still sound like the artist if without the Christmas lyrics? Does it honor the signature sound? Are the vocals unique to the artist? Number 3, arrangement. Does the song reinterpret Christmas music or just kind of dress it up? For covers, are the chords or harmonies altered in a meaningful way? Is the tempo or groove reimagined? Does it create new and inventive holiday imagery, or does it rely on cliches? For example, an artist might crank the distortion for distortion's sake rather than in service of the song. If it's a remake, it has to be ambitious. Not just a predictable version that checks all the boxes, but it needs to friggin' transcend the original to the point that people would rather hear this version. This is a high bar. Very important. Number 4, the balance of sincerity and irony. This is always a tightrope balancing act for musicians. If the song is too sincere, it risks being corny. If it's too ironic, it alienates the listener. And those kind of songs are disposable, like a quick gag. Twisted Sister, in my opinion, knows how to straddle that line perfectly. Their irony comes off as a very sincere kind of irony, if that makes sense. It shouldn't. Lyrics. Number 5, the lyrics do more than name-checking Christmas objects. Good lyrics will tell a story, create a convincing mood, and offer sentiment or a point of view like nostalgia or loneliness. Weak lyrics will rely on cliches and those object lists. Yeah, trees, check. Snow, check. Santa, check. Bells, check. Weak lyrics all use those one-syllable hard rhymes at the end of each line, doing things like rhyming, predictably, light and night. Number 6, performance. Does the band sound like they'd rather be somewhere else? Does it sound like they're financially desperate? And finally, number 7, production aesthetics. Does the production serve the sound or the season? A strong production will enhance the holiday atmosphere and keep the band's sonic identity intact. Mediocre production will overuse the sound of bells, choirs, and every cliche under the sun. Subtlety matters more than sparkle. Now, let's go evaluate some of the hardest rocking Christmas songs. In his first song, Lita Ford and Dee Snider share vocals on a heavy metal rendition of the 1943 Bing Crosby classic I'll Be Home for Christmas. I'll Be Home for Christmas is off the 2006 Twisted Sister album, A Twisted Christmas. While Dee Snider does most of the heavy lifting in this version, He provides ample sonic real estate for Lita Ford to show that even in 2006, she still sounded great. Yeah, so when I was 12, 13, when I first saw Lita Ford on MTV, yeah. Now, I don't want our channel to become associated with any inappropriate talk, but we'll just say I experienced a very primitive form of affection toward her. Kiss Me Deadly was a scorching hot song, but then when Ozzy gave her his endorsement by performing the duet Close My Eyes Forever in 1988, well, that says it all. Lita Ford had an impressive CV of collaborations. She's done a duet with Glenn Hughes, backing vocals for Nikki Sixx, a duet with Lemmy, excuse me, two duets with Lemmy, a duet with Joan Jett. She shared vocals in a live session with Paul Stanley, and many more. But how does she fare when not only matched with Twisted Sister, but constrained by the genre of Christmas music? Yeah, constraint. It's a constraint on the songwriter. The best songwriters are the one who transcend the constraints. The Twisted Sister Lita Ford version of I'll Be Home for Christmas is a holiday standard full of blues and longing, filtered through two of the most iconic voices in metal. Now, the result isn't metal, but it isn't really trying to be. Instead, it's a warm, restrained performance that highlights emotion. This is one of Lita's more mature performances. She resists the temptation to overdo it, opting instead for a soulful approach. Lita understands that, and her she understands that, and her phrasing carries genuine holiday loneliness. Musically, the arrangement stays safe. I dare to call this adult contemporary. For some, that restraint will feel tasteful. For others, that might feel like a missed opportunity. So, is it a good Christmas song? I'd say that it captures the sense of sincere longing, but it doesn't transcend it. As the author of Bear vs. Shark, Chris Batchelder, would say, it is executed to conception. Now, executed to conception sounds like a compliment. I mean, it's sort of a compliment. It means you did what you were supposed to do. You did it right, but you didn't do anything else. Although Twisted Sister and Lita Ford's rendition is not a definitive version of the song by any means, it succeeds as a Christmas song insofar as it does what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't do anything else. It's executed to conception. The purpose of Dawkins' cover of Santa Claus is Coming to Town is simple novelty, but it's a novelty delivered in that patented pinch harmonic hard rock sound of Dawkins during their heyday. The band doesn't try to redeem the song or make it clever. They lean into their own strengths and offer a strong balance between predictability and ingenuity. Musically, this is classic Dawkins. Crispy, clean, distorted guitars, the big hook, and a tight mid-tempo groove right out of the Back for the Attack sessions. In fact, the way they're playing the song sounds as if they came pretty close to plagiarizing their own song, Unchain the Night. The riff is almost exactly the same. Nevertheless, George Lynch's guitar work is the track's saving grace. Sorry, Don. His pinpoint accurate shredding and riffing bring metal credibility to the song that, in lesser hands, would feel disposable after one spin. This gets 3 spins. Don Dawkins' vocal delivery is surprisingly straight-faced. I'm not sure what to make of that. It's a recurring issue with metal bands singing Christmas songs. They do the job you expect. In other words, the Christmas song is executed to conception. Okay, but is Dawkins' version a good Christmas song? Yes, if your goal is seasonal fun with real rock chops behind it, maybe. It's well played, it sounds like Dawkins, maybe a little too much, but nothing is wrong with too much Dawkins. And no, it's not a good song. It succeeds as entertainment, not as a significant contribution to America's musical holiday tradition or even to the Dawkins canon. So, my final assessment, a little below executed to conception. It's just there. Rob Halford's We Three Kings is loud. Where most holiday metal songs aim for novelty or nostalgia, Halford turns a century-old carol into a slow-burning hymn of power and reverence. The kind of arrangement here is dark and deliberate, built on ominous riffs and stately, processional kind of beat. This isn't party metal or wink-wink holiday fun, it's ceremonial sounding. The minor key melody already carries a sense of mystery, and Halford leans into that atmosphere, letting the song feel ancient, heavy, and foreboding, without it becoming cartoonish. Vocally, This is Halford in full OG rock god mode. He doesn't just sing the song, he pays particular attention to intonation. His voice moves from restrained to ear splitting operatic power. His presence remains unmatched, as always. There are no gratuitous screams, and that restraint actually makes the performance a lot stronger. It's all about gravitas rather than shock value. What really works is how seriously Halford treats this material. There's no irony here, no seasonal cheese. By respecting the song's spiritual roots, he elevates it beyond novelty and into something that feels timeless and strangely authentic. Is it a good Christmas song? Yeah, though not in a traditional sense. This is for late night listeners, candlelight, the fans who want their holiday music dark and epic. Final analysis? Pretty good. Run, Rudolph, Run by Lemmy. If a booze-soaked barroom riot is what comes to mind when you think of Christmas, then this song is for you. Lemmy takes his Chuck Berry classic, hot wires the engine, floors the gas, and leaves skid marks from England to the North Pole. I know that's not possible. Lemmy's voice is the engine, gravelly, sneering. He doesn't just sing about Rudolph running. He sounds like he's chasing the reindeer down with a bottle of Jack in one hand and his bass in the other. The song fits him so naturally, feels like it should have been a Motorhead B-side all along. Billy Gibbons brings that unmistakable Texas sound, giving the riffs a greasy blues rock snap. And then there's Dave Grohl, pounding on the drums and pushing the tempo like a celebrity. Yeah, that works. What makes this version work is the chemistry. It's three legends clearly having fun, not parodying the song, but roughing it up and laughing while they do it. There's no sentimentality, no sleigh bells, no fake cheer, just rock and volume. So is it a good Christmas song? Well, if you want cozy and traditional, no, stay away from it. But if you want something to blast while pouring whiskey and maybe escaping the family chaos, finding a different kind of chaos, sure, this is perfect. Oh, Come All Ye Faithful by Stryper is one of those rare metal Christmas tracks that doesn't feel like novelty at all. Instead of saturating the carol in irony, which apparently I'm not into, every one of these, my criticism is irony. Like there shouldn't be irony, but maybe there should be irony in Christmas songs. Well, instead of saturating it in irony, Stryper approaches it with its opposite, sincerity, precision, and a clear sense of purpose. They are a Christian band after all. They've got a stake in this. And so, of course, the song's going to sound sincere, right? It is sincere. They're celebrating Jesus, not Santa. Musically, the band stays faithful to the hymn's grand triumphant melody, but heaves a lot of distortion on the guitar solos. Guitars are clean, big, and melodic, rather than the aggressiveness that Stryper is totally capable of. The rhythm section keeps things stately and controlled, allowing the arrangement to feel relevant without being stiff. Michael Sweet's vocals are the centerpiece, as they are with Stryper. His booming delivery fits the song too well. This is a hymn built for a voice just like his. His high notes land with conviction, and are genuinely powerful rather than a display of theatrical excess, which Stryper is fully capable of doing too. What separates this version from many metal Christmas covers is its tone. Stryper aren't trying to make the song sound cool or edgy. They see it as wholly spiritual and too sacred to stamp with corrupt, sinful vanity and pride. For some listeners, the directness may be a deal breaker, but for others, it's refreshing. The band's faith-driven identity aligns naturally with the song's message. Now, I'm going to say something that would maybe have gotten me into some trouble, perhaps might have got me a black eye back when I was 14. But since I've started this podcast with Nova, I've been listening to some glam bands that I overlooked a lot when I was younger, and one of them, case in point, is Stryper. Dude, they're really good musicians. I'm kind of digging them. Maybe next it'll be Winger. I never got into them. So, did Stryper succeed in crafting a good Christmas song? Very much so, especially for listeners who appreciate traditional carols delivered with rock grandeur and technical skill. Final analysis, Stryper's the best of the five. They transcend. They transcend.
Whether you choose your favorite holiday music using a scientific method or you just go with what feels right, let us know your holiday favorites and how you feel about our picks. And if you like what we do, you can find Rockers to Doctors at rockerstodoctors.com, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Until then, stay loud, stay curious, keep rocking with a hypothesis. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.